Greetings, greetings, beautiful people. Thank you for joining into today's Movement Medicine Morsel. Our theme today is our beautiful spines. So from here down to the tailbone, a primary line in the body, and a lovely place to get supple and free. In yoga, we say that you are as young as your spine is flexible, and the spine is known as the fountain of youth. So let's get to it. I'm going to slip my chair back a little bit so that you can see parts that I'm talking about. And I'd like to invite you to feel your feet wherever they are, really sense them, sensing the ground below, whether you're barefoot, you've got socks, shoes, slippers, it doesn't matter. Just bringing awareness into the feet and noticing how they are. At the same time, grounding the sit bones so you really feel them well placed in your chair. From here, we grow up through the crown of the head. And let's do our little finger helmet. We haven't done this for a while. I'll come a little bit closer. You want to take your hands and turn your thumbs forward and your fingers back. And your thumbs are going to find the little spot just under the cheekbones, and then the other fingers are going to wrap to the base of the skull. Something like this. And it's all very gentle. So now you have control over your skull. And why we have contact in the front and the back is so we don't lift by just lifting the chin or just the back of the skull. We want to gently raise the hands up just enough that we feel a little bit of traction, of decompression in the neck, and that we keep the front and the back and the right and left sides the same. You can gently turn your head with this support. You can even raise your chin and then lower your chin. All of these gentle rocking motions can be done with the hands reminding us to go up at the top of the spine. So keeping that in mind, because of course the neck is part of the spine and the head can often be a heavy load. So we want a feeling of that head lifting like helium. And that will help us with our vertical alignment. So that's number one direction of the spine. That one's an important one. And to be honest, it underpins every other movement in the spine. So let's get going with the other movements. We're going to go into a pair. The rest of the movements are paired off. So there's flexion and extension. I'll turn sideways for this one. Actually, I'll turn my whole apparatus sideways. And we want to bring awareness to the pelvis. You can even have your hands on your pelvis, front and back, or even on the sides. On the exhale, let the small of the waist melt back. And as you inhale, let it come forwards. So there's a rocking action of the pelvis, and this will naturally take the spine along with it. So let's add the upper back. Bringing the hands forward is helpful. Palms up, elbows back. So we're adding the shoulder girdle to the pelvic girdle. And those are both attachments to the spine. The shoulder girdle is how the upper limb attaches to that primary line of the spine, which includes the ribs. See if you can sense your ribs. And then the pelvic girdle is how the legs attach to the sacrum. And make this fun. Make it feel really good, because when something feels good in our movement, that also releases hormones and endorphins and releases pain, brings pleasure and balance, harmony. We're looking for harmony. Inhale when we extend the spine, and exhale when we flex the spine. And the nice thing is these movements are also going to encourage our breath. Okay, bring this to a close when you feel complete with it, and just sit for a little bit and see how does that feel. How does that feel? Move around a little bit. And now we're going to do a little bit of twisting. So take one hand to the chair, the other hand across the thigh, grow tall, and on the exhale, revolve. Keep turning, head turns as well. And take a few breaths. Keep growing tall. And then start to unwind, come back to center. Pause in your vertical alignment and see how this feels. How are you aware of the two sides of you? What's popping up in your sensations? Just savor. And now, of course, we're going to go to the other side. One hand on the chair, other on the thigh. First our vertical alignment, and then turning the belly button, the rib cage. When I turn my head, you won't hear me anymore. So here goes the head. And please breathe. And then gently coming back. And just enjoy that movement a little bit. Enjoy the echo, the after effects as well. We've got one more movement, also paired, lateral flexion or side bending. So I want you to think about the area from your rib cage to the top of your pelvis. And we're going to be bringing the top of the pelvis and the bottom of the rib cage together. Let's start with the rib cage. This works nicely if you have your hands just draped. And on the exhale, let one armpit move towards the hip. You'll notice the rest of the spine is going to come with it, and then come up. Let's go to the other side. Exhale, that armpit is moving towards the hip, and inhale, it's slowly lengthening out. Let's do this a couple of times, and this is the side bending for the upper part of the spine. Okay, we're going to use the lower part of the spine because this area from the top of the hip up, we often neglect. We're often doing our side bends the way we've just done them without the beautiful addition of the rest of the spine. So here, we're going to lift the hip up towards the armpit. Notice that I'm not keeping this side long. You basically keep the armpit where it is and you hike the hip up, and the rest of your body is going to make a little adjustment. And let's repeat this on the other side. So remember, the armpit is gently moving towards the hip as the hip lifts up to the armpit. Exhale when you make this side shorter, but guess what? The other side's getting longer. So one side gets shorter and the other side relaxes and gets longer. Okay, so now we've got a full lateral bend. We've had the armpit and the hips coming. Okay, now we're going to practice with a little bit of standing up for those of you who want to stand up. I'll move my chair back a little bit. We're going to always begin in vertical alignment. For those of you who want to stay in your chair, just push with your feet. Let's all do that. Push down with your feet and lean forward as though you're going to lift yourself up out of the chair. If you can't get up out of the chair, you're still strengthening your legs. Another tip is bring your feet a little closer to the chair rather than too far out. So lean forward, push into the floor, and then relax. And now exhale, we're going to brush the hands back a little bit as we round. Inhale, we're going to arch, push with our feet, and some of us might float all the way up. And then exhale, we're going to round. Our butt is going to find the chair. And inhale, we're going to sit up. Exhale, we're going to round, the hands brush back. Inhale, push with the feet, and maybe you're going to come all the way up. And exhale, we're going to round. And inhale, neutral. And again, exhale, the hands brush back as you curl. Inhale, you're arching, shifting the weight, and maybe lifting all the way up. And exhale, coming down. And inhale to neutral. Now staying in the seat, inhale, lift one hand up. And exhale, curve. So not reaching out, but let this be a nice curve. Inhale, reaching up, the other hand follows. And exhale, curve. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, curve. Last one. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, curve. Inhale, reaching up, interlace the fingers, press up, get more of that beautiful vertical alignment. You can even wiggle here a little bit. And let's relax the arms. And I invite you all to come to standing. If you can finish in the chair if you like, but if you can stand, it's fun to do this last part in the standing. So first, we're nice and tall. Exhale, we're going to round, and you can go as deep as you like, adding the legs. Inhale, on one breath, you're stretching up gently. Exhale, you're rounding a little, or maybe a lot. And inhale, you're coming all the way up, and now twisting as you bend the knees slightly. Inhale, sweeping the arms up and over center. Exhale, twisting and lowering the arms. Let's do that again. Inhale, paint the sky. And exhale, bow. Inhale, paint the sky. And exhale, bow. And inhale, up, interlace the fingers, press up. Step the feet open a little bit more. Side bend. Remember, we're accentuating the curve rather than the long lean. Inhale, up. Exhale, the curve. Inhale, up, feet close together, seated or standing. Palms bring the energy down to rest in front of the heart. Smile, feel your vertical alignment. Feel your spine. Lowering the hands, facing the earth, and then folding the hands over the low belly. And gently feeling your vertical alignment. Breathing smoothly and fully. And then to finish, just a little bit of free form spinal wiggling. You've warmed up your spine, so if you just let go and play a little bit, you never know what's going to come out. Pretend you're listening to some wonderful music. And of course, you can keep doing this all day or all evening, or even put on some of your favorite music, but we're going to end today's session with a little bit of perpetual motion. So just keep everything lubricated. Remember, spine, fountain of youth. Thank you for your attention and your presence, and many, many blessings to you. See you next time.